they had a set lineup. And then all of a sudden they get to New York and, they play one game. And then all of a sudden, everybody plays, it's like every other day. In order to have a good baseball team or a good athletic team, you have to have consistency. You got to have chemistry. And there's no chemistry on the team. If you look at it from first to number 9, there's a different position, a different player that plays every single day. That's why the analytics are so bad in the game of athletics. And I'm telling you right now, and, you look at the Yankees, they got 9 stars on the team, okay? But it doesn't mean anything. They can't play together as a team. They're going to win a lot of ball games because it's just talent-wise. But if you look at the team, they're very lethargic. The pitching, other than Garrett Cole and Chapman, you got a little bit, they're not bad. But, you look at the hitting. You got DJ hitting first, and then you got Aaron Judge hitting second, and then you got Sanchez, and then you got whoever hits fourth. That whole lineup is nothing but strikeouts. And it's nothing but strikeouts. You see it, you're close by it and you understand this. And, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see this. The name of the game of baseball, it's not how many home runs you hit in a game. It's not how many strikeouts you get. Between both teams, you have like 20, 23, 24 strikeouts, and they just wait for the home runs. That's not how to win baseball. The baseball games are won by, if you look at Joe Madden with Tampa, when he managed Tampa, then he went over to, where did he go to? Cubbies. He went to the Cubbies. And, he's a guy that made the team work. He doesn't have the greatest talent in the world, but he knows how to play. He knows how to put the guys in a position to play. But if you look at the Yankees, there's just strikeout after strikeout. Then somebody gets on, somebody hits a home run. Big deal. Doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm with you. I'm going to ask you one more current question, then I'm going to get to the book. But
yeah.
So, as the first designated hitter, your thoughts on Stanton as the current Yankee DH?
Well, I really don't know. I don't understand him because I saw him down when he was at the Marlins, and he had those great years. Okay, and he was a superstar. Then all of a sudden he starts breaking down. Then all of a sudden, he became from a left fielder to a DH. Unfortunately, a sometime DH because he's always injured. And now here's another prime example. You got Aaron Judge, who's out of the game tonight.
Yeah.
Now, why is he out of the? He had a Super Bowl game last night. He hit a home run. I think he hit a double, whatever, and he's out of the ball game. See, the problem is it's the if you look at the team, they are made of great athletes. They're in great shape, but they're not in baseball shape. Does that make sense to you? If you look at their bodies are they should be in a swim trunk contest because they got muscle over muscle. They got six packs.
And I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah.
Like David Cohn said to me when I was doing the Yankee game with David Cohn and it was Michael Kay, and David looked at me. He said, and somebody went out. He said, "Have you ever seen a fat guy pull a muscle?" And, I started thinking, I said, no. He said, look at Babe Ruth. But these guys, they're in great shape, but they're like thoroughbreds with no body fat on them. To be a good athlete, you got to have some type of fat on your body because if you pull a muscle, you got to have a cushion from a muscle to a bone to a cushion. But they don't have that. They don't have that cushion. They got muscle on muscle on muscle. And I don't know why Judge is out. I just saw that. And
he's that bad. All right. We had to turn to the main focus of our interview. Because, I just said the captain and me. I don't know how to feel with Thurman Munson. That your latest book. how emotional was it for you to write this? And it was a great book, Ron. How emotional was it for you to write this?
Oh, thank you very much. Let me tell you how it got started very, very quickly. I was down in Yankee fantasy camp. And when you have fantasy camp, you have people to sign autographs. It was Dinah Munson, it was Kay Mercer, and Helen Hunter. They're down there signing autographs for the campers. And the campers are ages between 40 to 90 years old. Okay. And they want these guys, they want these ladies' autographs because of who they are. I mean, hey, whatever. And basically, I knew that Marty Appel is a dear friend of mine. Marty Appel wrote Thurman's book, and there's been about 2 or 3 other books about Thurman. But Diana would not do a forward with any of these authors. And I found out from Marty, I said, Marty, did you ask Diana to do your forward? She wouldn't do it for me. So I saw her down there. I'm so close to her. And I never knew I was going to write a book, but I wanted to because he was pushed out of the Hall of Fame so much. So basically, I went up to Diana. I said, if I write a book about Thurman, would you write the forward of the book? She looked at me. She started crying. She said, only for you. Only for you. She said, you know Thurman better than anybody. You know how dirty he was, how nasty he was out on the field, how grumpy he was on the field. But off the field, he was such a great family man. That's why he stayed in Canton and started flying, because they had an off day that day to see his family. And that's what happened. So Diana said, so I decided to write the book. And I had the greatest writer in the world, Dan Epstein. And this is not a baseball book. This is, I don't know if you ever seen the movie. Bang the Drum Slowly. It's exactly like Bang the Drum Slowly, because you got that catcher that had cancer. You got that pitcher that took care of that catcher. And Thurman took care of me for the last 2 years when I was injured. But we had fun on and off the field. We did so many things together. We're a family. He was my brother. I didn't want a baseball book. I wanted something to tell about Thurman, about his life, what he did off the field. And when he was off the field, it was like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. We did so many things up in New York. We did the Shriners. We did the Jerry Lewis telethon. We did so many telethons up there. And I mean, he loved the kids. All the kids, there was sick. All the kids, when we went to hospitals, with in the cancer ward with the kids. We knew that we're not going to live for a long period of time. And, you go in there, laughing, but you come out crying. And you should see Thurman coming out with tears in his eyes after he holds these kids. And he knew, and the doctor said, you always ask for some reason, always there's is he going to make it? No, he has probably maybe 4 to 5 months to live. And when you know about that, and when you leave the hospital, if you want to talk about a tearjerker, if you want to talk about something being sad, I mean, we got the best of both worlds. Thank God we're healthy. Everybody has some type of sickness or injuries or whatever. If you want to talk about sickness, go into a hospital, see these kids, and see a professional athlete like Thurman and myself, and they gravitate to you, even if they didn't even know who you are. You got mom and dad there. And, they didn't want to talk to, they're afraid to talk to Thurman because they knew in the paper how nasty and how dirty he was. Yeah. And that's what he was. That's what he was. But off the field, he was just he was just, he was the writers. I want the writers to find out what type of person he is. And, and the writers had kept him off because not for baseball skills, but his personality skills. And I want the veteran people to, I'm trying to do everything I possibly can. If I make this book so popular, and that's what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it so popular, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to put Thurman into the Hall of Fame where he deserves.
And by the way, you're in the Hall of Fame, by the way, Ron, with the DH. But I had one quick question on the deviled egg chapter. Love the deviled egg chapter.
Oh, that was delicious. It
was delicious. I also like deviled eggs, but you had to tell our audience a little bit about this whole story, because you and Thurman were playing games, and then the Yankees were looking at you. So.
Oh no, I was a first DH, of course, in Boston, up in Fenway Park, right? So Elson Howard, I'm on the bench. It's 34 degrees up here. He said, "Why are you sitting next to me? Why don't you go up in the clubhouse?" So I started looking at him. I said, "I'm not in the game." I said, "Hey, I'm not going to sit here. I'm freezing. It's 30 something degrees. We left Florida when it's 90. I'm 34 degrees in Boston. I'm dying." So I go up to the clubhouse. Vince, I don't know his last name. He's a clubby for many, many years. He made great double legs. Great double legs. So I'm sitting there at my locker. I'm listening to the game, and he's putting out the spread for after the game, right? So I'm just sitting there. All of a sudden, I see double legs out there, and I see Kabasi out there, and I'm saying to myself, "Hey, I'm not a fool." I asked Vince. I said, "You mind me eating a double leg?" He said, "No." So I ate one. I ate two. So all of a sudden, I'm eating like half the double legs. And I got to go down and hit, the next inning. So, I walked the first time. So this next time I get up, I got a base hit like that. Come back. I'm not stupid. So I came back and listened to the game. So I'm eating a few more. And then Thurman started getting the gist because he knew we're in Boston, we're going to get double legs. He comes in, all of a sudden he sees like 90% of the double legs are gone. He takes all the double legs, put them in his locker, and made sure I didn't eat the double eggs. But then I went on to Kabasi. So I'm not stupid, hey, how can you beat that? Hey, how can you beat that? You're sitting down, you're warm, you're listening to the game. And then all of a sudden, it's your turn to bat. It's just like a Sunday baseball league. It's your turn to bat. Go down there and hit. Come back and warm up. Hey, that's what I did when I was the DH. But now it's a little bit more, more of the game. And but like I tell everybody, it's great for the game of baseball. I love it. It's taken 48 years. It's 48 years this year, and they don't have the DH, the universal DH in the National League. And that's the dumbest thing in the world. When you have a designated runner at second base and play 7-inning games and put a guy on second base with a tie score, that's Sunday baseball. That's Sunday baseball. I don't care what anybody says. You can't slide into second base. You can't slide into home. So it's totally different. And, hey, the DH is great for the game of baseball. It really is. And last year, when they had a shortened season, I talked to a couple of managers. They loved it. The players loved it. But for some reason, don't ask me why. It's going to be in baseball next year. But it's taken 48 years, and it's taken 6 months to put a designated guy on second base with the tie score. Now I just read in the paper. Now they put in thinking about putting the mound back another foot.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, they put the mound back another foot. Hey, next year they're going to be playing off a tee.
Rob, I'm sure you have a question for Ron. So Rob Adams, go ahead.
Ron, first of all, I have to tell you, at my first year in Little League, I wore number 12. So I have to throw that your way.
I love you, sir. Hey, Rob, you're the best of the best.
Well,
y'all in Greenwich. Oh, wait a second. Y'all in Greenwich, Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
Greenwich and Orlando, yeah.
Okay, yeah. The greatest place where we used to go eat, Thurman and I would tell you right now, Minero's. Remember Minero's?
Sure do. I remember them.
We ate almost every single night when we were at home. They stayed open to us. When we got there, it's 12 o'clock, and we ate there. It was the best of the best. The great salads, the great steaks. I mean, unbelievable. Was that fun? Was that fun?
But I also have to mention, and I didn't bring it with me, I've got the Sports Illustrated cover of you and Bobby. And Bobby means so much to me. Kay means so much to me. I wondered if you could say a word about Bobby Mercer.
You're talking about a sweetheart. You're talking about a person that really cared. Bobby was more introverted than what a lot of people thought. He was such a fine athlete. He came up as a shortstop. Then they moved him to center field. He was from Oklahoma. Of course, Mickey from Oklahoma. That was a two match right there. And, and Bobby was such a great leader on the team. He was a Super Bowl player, and he was a great guy to have as a teammate. Kay Mercer, I think she still lives down in Dallas or around there. she's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person. Their whole family, Todd, Mercer, they're just a wonderful family. And, the good part about our generation, they're still our brothers and they're still our family. And we're so close to them. And, I was very, very lucky to be able to wear the greatest uniform in the world and put that Yankee pinstripes on, play in front of all the New Yorkers and to play in Yankee Stadium. I was blessed with that. And unfortunately, I was injured quite a bit, but when I did get to play, it was fine. But it was a greatest, I was very lucky to put that Yankee pinstripes on. I was very proud to be Jewish, playing in New York. Hey, what more could you ask for?
That's true. In your first book, you mentioned that. So I want to ask a new question. Because in 1972, you played first base, Ron. How was that with Thurman behind the plate? And and only because the Danny Cater trade, you got moved in to first base. Was that great or what?
Oh, it was super. But people don't realize, people think first base is easy to play. It's one of the hardest positions. Let me tell you the reason why. I moved from right field to first base because I hurt my shoulder, okay? Then you have Thurman, then you had Greg Nettles at third base, which he threw you sliders all the time from third base to first base, okay, number one. Number two, you have Stick at shortstop, and his ball sails. And then you have Willie. And Willie threw sinkers to you. And then you have Sparky as a relief pitcher. And then you have Mel Stoudemire. Every time he threw a pitch, it sunk. And and then you look at you look at Sparky, and Sparky, it's not easy. Why do you think there's 4 people that have tried first base? It's not easy. When you leave a position from the outfield, and you got a ball, basically when it's hit to you, most of the time it's true when it's hit to you, unless if it hits the wind. Mm-hmm. But when you have a different pitcher that is throwing over to first base, and he throws a 2-seam fastball, then he throws a cut fastball to you, and it's not easy. It really is not easy. I had a hard time there because all the balls just kept on moving on me, like that. And, but hey, playing first base when Thurman was catching was great because Thurman was such a leader on our team. Thurman was a captain as soon as he stepped in '69. He was unofficially a captain, but he was a captain in '69 up until, unfortunately, when he passed away, okay? But he was the best of the best. He took charge. He was a George Patton of the baseball field. And that's the type of guy he was. And that's what the Yankees are missing now, where they're missing a leader now. There's not one guy on that team. And, they're great ball players. I'm not taking away, but they just don't have, other than Brett Gardner. Other than Brett, okay? But Brett, he's not going to play all the time. And, but he's more, but he's more of a team captain. They don't have anybody else. They thought Aaron Judge was going to be the team captain. But, Aaron is a very good ball player. But, in the last 3 years, his credentials and, and his body has ripped apart. And, when you are a mammoth type of man and you playing baseball or sport, your body's going to break. And when it breaks, and if you put plaster on it, it keeps a little piece of it keeps on breaking. And that's what's happening. And when you have a pull oblique, does it heal? Yes, it does heal, but it's very susceptible to another muscle pull. And when you pull that muscle again, and I don't know why he's sitting out.
I'm not sure either. I can tell you, but Dave has a question for you, Ron.
Just a real quick question.
Yeah, Dave, sure.
Dave Toromeo here, and AKA the Mets fan of the group. So,
no. Hey, one thing. the Yankees won when we wanted to. You won when you could. Remember that.
All right, thank you for that. So,
We're gonna let me ask you a question, Ron, but it's okay. He wanted to ask you a question.
yes,
Yeah.
I do. I want to ask you a quick question. So I actually, this gentleman told me this, and I never knew this, and I guess you do. If there was a left-handed pitcher that day in Boston, do you know who the DH would have been?
Yeah, probably Felipe Alou.
Okay.
Probably Felipe.
Ron Swoboda would have told me it would have been him. So that's why I'm sharing that.
Rocky said that?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Good man. Yeah, I wonder why, because, you must have gone to fantasy camp with him, and you went to a City Field, and he was there signing autographs.
No, he was on the Yankees that day. Nope, sorry. But no, listen, we enjoyed your career very much. And
Oh my gosh.
I look forward to reading the book. Of course, Mark hasn't shared it with us, but we'll have to go out and get it ourselves. So
I would have shared it with you. Thank you very much.
What you need to do is call up Bill.
I will take care of that.
You need to call up Bill at Triumph, and he'll take care of you. He's a wonderful man. The book is great. It was fun to write. And, talking to people like yourself, because baseball, and it's one, it's very difficult when you do a book, okay? And the book I did, it's good, okay? Especially when Thurman Munson, and Thurman was the man in New York for many, many years, of course, and the captain. And, you get so many people that want you to do things, you have no idea what you're doing. Like I had like 450 books in like 9 days, they're all gone. People want it, from my Facebook thing. I never did Facebook before. And if you look at this, I still got, hey, look what I got. When you talk, I still got my flip phone.
There you go. Now we're talking, Ron.
Hey,
Hey, Ron, where besides the Triumph books, we know, but where can our audience order a copy of this wonderful book?
Okay. If you want, you could go to Amazon, you could go to Barnes & Noble, and you could go to any bookstore. Or you could go to my website, and I'll personally sign it. And my website is very simple. It's Ron Bloomberg. It's 1-0. It's not like Mayor Bloomberg. It's 1-0. RonBloombergYankees.com. If you want me to personally sign a book for you, it's a wonderful book. And,
it really is.
And Mark saw it, and not because I wrote it. And, I'm very proud of it. And I'm going to get Thurman Munson into the Hall of Fame, and that's what I'm going to do. That's my goal.
Love it.
Awesome.
The Captain and Me, On and Off the Field with Thurman Munson by Ron Bloomberg. Thank you for joining us on the Clubhouse, Ron. We really appreciate it.
I love y'all. Thank you very much. I love y'all, and the best of luck to you. Go Yankees. We'll be good.
Go Yankees. Woohoo!
On
Thank y'all.
55. How do you want to handle, Mark?
We need to take a quick break.
You got it. Quick break. We're back to wrap it up in a moment, and maybe a Clubhouse report after this. 1490-1055 WGCH.com.
Greg made it.
Okay.
You know what? Let's just do a chit chat. I don't think we have enough time for the. We're up to you guys.
I'm partial to the fugue. If you want to, you want to go for it, let's go for it.
I may bypass the Kentucky Derby story because we have to make predictions. That would take
Just do the
time.
picks, yeah. I interviewed 2 winning jockeys this week,
Nice.
including Victor Espinoza, who rode the Triple Crown winner.
Wow.
David, a quick Manhattanville update or no?
No, we don't need it. Just go.
Okay, stand by.
And WGCH.com anywhere.
Time is getting short. Got to strike up the band. Let's do it. Dun, 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 dun,
The Clubhouse Report with your host, Mark Jeffers.
I just like to hear Bob introduce me. It makes it a lot for me. Turner Sports and the NHL have made their deal official formally announcing a 7-year agreement that will bring the next piece of NHL to Warner Media beginning in 2021-22 season, Stanley Cup playoffs to TNT and TBS for the first time, and Turner Sports landing the rights to up to 72 regular season games, as well as the NHL Winter Classic. It's a big deal, and NBC is left in the cold. Thoughts?
NBC bailed out. And the Turner wants to dive in with the same NBA approach. So it is a big deal.
I
think
just hope
that's
the
it,
Islanders
David.
can score a goal by them.
Well, since we're going to go there, and we're sort of doing a quick one. Ready for this? I wrote this just for you, Bob.
Okay.
Sliding over to the ice
Wow.
in NHL action. The New York Islanders were shut out last night, 1-0 to the Washington Capitals. They face the Rangers tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden with a 7:00 face-off. The Rangers got a much-needed win, 3-1 last night against the Buffalo Sabres. David, give me a Islanders update, because you know what? And I'm a Rangers fan. This is a big game tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, the trade they made for the two Jersey Devils seems to have backfired. I was telling my son that Palmieri and Zajac have not done much. They can't score goals. They messed up their chemistry. They've had Wallstrom go up and down. I think the Islanders are in big trouble. I think the Rangers are a very, very talented team. I don't think the Rangers are going to be able to make the playoffs, but they're going to be really tough going forward.
I would agree with that.
Yep.
All right, over on the courts, the Brooklyn Nets secured a berth in the postseason with their 116-103 win last night against the Toronto Raptors. The Nets travel to Indiana tomorrow night to face the Pacers at 7:00. Phoenix Suns ended the New York Knicks 9-game, by the way, 9-game match to that winning streak. Monday night, the Knicks look to rebound tonight as they host the Chicago Bulls at the Garden with a 7:30 tip-off. Rob, any updates on any of these scores that I should know about?
Knicks lead the Bulls 23-8. Yankees lead the Orioles 5-0 in the fourth.
All righty. And that will wrap it up for this week's abbreviated Clubhouse Report. I'm back to you.
Let's make some Derby picks. Go for it.
All right. My Kentucky Derby. I like Hot Rod Charlie.
Per
I like
Peter
that name.
Catalano. For
That's a
Peter
great
Catalano.
name.
Obesos. Thanks to
How about
Peter.
rock Your World?
I'm going to go with Midnight Bourbon at 20-1.
Yes, yes. I like it.
I'll
Well, we're
drink that
done.
later tonight. But that's
5
more
seconds.
fun.
For Bob, Dave, Mark, I'm Rob. Good night.
AM 1490 and FM 105.5 WGCH.
That's interesting.
All right. We did it. Yay.
You did it.
Are we off the air?
Yes.